Good morning, children. Today's story is Surprise from Mother and Susan by Enid Blyton. On the bookcase was a round glass bowl full of water. In it, swimming about in some strands of green water weed, was a fine goldfish. He belonged to Susan. She loved Goldie. She fed him, saw that he had some nice weed in his globe all the time, and once she gave him 2 water snails for company. But they ate his weeds, so she took them out. Goldie wasn't at all lonely. He liked talking to the toys when the nursery was empty. They all liked Goldie too. He swam round and round his bowl, and sometimes he poked his nose right out of the water. "I do wish you would come right out and play with us," said the sailor doll. "Why don't you?"
"Well, I have to live in water," said Goldie. "I would like to come and play with you. Really, I would. But after all, I have no legs or arms, so I wouldn't be much fun."
You could slither along on the floor," said the sailor doll. "Do come." But Goldie wouldn't. He did not mind poking his nose out of the water now and again, but he did not think he would like to get right out. "Susan's got a toy goldfish that swims in a bath at night," the panda told Goldie one day. "Susan puts him in when the bath is full and takes him out again when it's empty. He lies there in the soap rack all day and he doesn't seem to mind. If he can live out of the water, why can't you?"
"I don't know. I just don't want to get out of the bowl," said Goldie rather crossly.
"He's just silly," said the sailor doll, getting cross himself. "He won't try." Now, when the sailor doll made up his mind that he wanted something, he went on and on until he got what he wanted, and he suddenly made up his mind and he wanted Goldie to get out of his bowl. But how could he make him? He thought of an idea at last. "I'll get the toys to have some sports," he thought. "Yes, running and jumping for prizes. I'll offer the prizes. I've got a sweet hidden at the back of the cupboard, and there's a bit of red ribbon I found in the waste paper basket. That will do for another prize." The toys were quite excited when they heard about the sports. The panda helped the sailor doll to arrange them. The toys had to run round the nursery to race one another. They had to see how high they could jump over a rope, and they had to choose partners for a 3-legged race too. "I'll give a prize for that," said the panda. "I've got a brooch out of a cracker. I'll offer that as a prize for the 3-legged race." "Goldie ought to go in for the sports too," said the sailor doll. "Don't be silly," said the panda. "He can't run, and how could he possibly go in for the 3-legged race when he hasn't got even 1 leg?" "But he could jump," said the sailor doll. "He could jump high out of the water. He could jump right out of his bowl. We could easily put him back if we thought he had jumped the best. We could give him the prize. He would look nice with the red ribbon around his neck." Goldie couldn't help feeling rather excited when he heard all this. He pressed his nose against the glass of his bowl and tried to see all that was going on. The sailor doll climbed up on the bookcase.
"Do you want to go in for the jumping prize?" he asked Goldie. "I bet you could win it. I once saw you jump a little way out of your water, and it was a very good jump. Don't you want a red ribbon?"
"Well, I will go in for the jumping," said Goldie.
"Yes, I will. You tell me when it's my turn."
The sports were to be held that night. The toys were excited. They started off with a running race, and the toy rabbit easily won that. He simply galloped round and came to the winning post long before the others. He was very pleased with the sweet for a prize. It was a bit old and dirty, but he did not mind. "Now for the jumping," said the sailor doll. "And let me tell you, toys, that the goldfish is going in for this too. My word, I guess he'll jump high." All the toys took their turn at jumping. The kangaroo out of the Noah's Ark jumped the highest of all. Goldie popped his head out of the water.
"I can jump higher than the kangaroo. I can," he called in his bubbling voice. "Watch me."
He jumped high out of the water, very high indeed. But alas, when he fell back, he struck the edge of the bowl and bounced over onto the bookcase instead of back into the water. He slithered from the bookcase and fell over the edge. Thud! He crashed to the floor and lay there wriggling and gasping.
I can't breathe, he gasped. I can't breathe out of water. Put me back quickly, or I shall die. The toys were horrified. The panda rushed to him, but he couldn't get hold of Goldie. He was so slippery, and even if he could hold him, how could he possibly get him back up to the top of the bookcase? Goldie wriggled hard on the carpet. Water! Water! I'm dying! Water! Get me water! Sailor Doll, tell us what to do. You made poor Goldie jump, cried the toys. The Sailor Doll was almost crying. He had got his way. He had made Goldie jump out of his bowl. Now he wanted nothing better than to get the poor goldfish back into his water. How could he have been so stupid and unkind as to try and make him jump out? Go on, Sailor Doll, do something, shouted the toy. It's your fault, it's your fault. I can climb up the bookcase with Goldie. I can't, sobbed the Sailor Doll. He's too heavy and too slippery. I know what you can do, I know, squeaked the rabbit. Look, there's a bowl of flowers on the table. You can climb up the chair surely and then on the table. Quick, pick Goldie up in your arms and climb up. Quick, quick, he's almost dead. The poor goldfish was hardly wriggling at all now. He lay on the carpet, gasping, his mouth opening and shutting feebly. The toys couldn't bear to see him like that. The Sailor Doll picked him up. He was wet and slippery and heavy. The sailor managed to climb up onto the chair seat with him, with the toys helping him. Then up onto the table he went, panting and sobbing. He ran to the flower bowl. It was a deep green bowl, and Mother had put some green sprays in it, for there were few flowers out so early in the year. The Sailor Doll flung the goldfish into the bowl of greenery. He slid down into the water. At once he felt better. He wriggled feebly at first, taking in great gulps of water, and then felt stronger. The toys all climbed up on the table to watch. They saw Goldie flap his tail and fins rather feebly. Then they saw him wriggle himself, and then they saw him try to swim, opening and shutting his mouth as he always did. Goldie, dear Goldie, are you all right now? Asked Panda. Do you feel better? Yes, much better, said Goldie, coming out to the top of the water and poking his nose out between the stem. But I do think it was mean of the Sailor Doll to make me go in for the jumping. He might have known I would fall out and crash down to the floor. I wanted you to fall out. I wanted you to come and play with us, said the Sailor Doll, wiping his tears away. I thought if only I could make you jump out, you would be quite all right and could come and join our games. I didn't know you would die out of water. Now I'm in a pretty fix, said Goldie, all mixed up with these stems, and the water doesn't taste very nice either. Panda, did I jump high? I haven't even got a prize. You shall have the red ribbon, said the Sailor Doll at once. Come up to the top and I'll tie it round your neck. You really do deserve it, Goldie. Nobody jumps so far as you, right out of the bowl and down to the floor. Gracious, no one else would dare to jump off the bookcase. Goldie couldn't help feeling pleased to have the prize ribbon round his neck. He felt very grand and important. He swam in and out of the stems looking very fine. The toys went back to the toy cupboard. The night went and the morning came. And in the morning Susan ran into the nursery. She looked at the goldfish bowl as she always did and stared in astonishment. It's empty! She cried. Where's Goldie? Oh, surely he hasn't jumped out and died. But he was nowhere on the floor, nowhere to be found at all. Susan ran to tell her mother. Together they hunted about for Goldie, but they couldn't find him. Well, lay the breakfast, dear, said Mother at last. Goldie's gone. Goodness knows where to. Susan laid the breakfast, feeling very sad. She and her mother sat down, and then her mother gave a cry of surprise. Susan, look, Goldie's in the flower bowl. How did he get there? Did you put him there? Oh, Mummy, no, of course not, said Susan in astonishment. I've been very miserable about him. Mummy, he's in the flower bowl. He's swimming about among the stems. Mother and Susan watched Goldie in amazement, and then Susan saw the ribbon round his neck. It was very limp and wet, of course, but still it was a ribbon. Oh, Sue, you must have put the ribbon round his neck and popped him into the flower bowl to give me a surprise, said Mother, and she simply wouldn't believe that Susan hadn't done it. But Susan knew she hadn't. She looked round at her toys and she saw that the sailor doll was wet all down the front of him. He winked at her. "It's something to do with the sailor doll," thought Susan. It is. But what? If only he could talk to me. Now, I'll never know what happened. You can tell her if you ever meet her, but I'm not sure she'll believe you. Wasn't it a surprise for Susan and her mother? The end.
The scene है